kind of the question.
It really dictated what, I thought to start the game, I thought we rushed some things, some guys, some shots, ricochet off the backboard. And, just trying to come out and hit a home run, you just have to take good shots and get into rhythm. And then once we did get good shots, we didn't make them. And so, but yeah, we have to be more patient and be able to probe the defense a little bit better. But, they were going to force us to make some shots and take away our interior game. I thought they did a good job. It was a good game plan. They just couldn't get anything going from an offensive standpoint.
Coach, is this something, a defense that is it good to see this already? Because do you feel like this is a defense you're going to be seeing this type of style all year?
Oh, I think so. They mixed it up and they showed, their matchup look, and they would be in man at times. They would switch out and out of bounds plays. I thought they did a really good job. We just have to, show patience. Well, we showed patience. Kendall came in and got us going a little bit, made a couple shots, but after the first 4 or 5 minutes, we got some really good looks. But it was a good game, for us because they simply forced us to be able to make some plays from the perimeter.
As you mentioned, Kendall coming in and shooting well, and as you have things constructed right now, just some of your best shooters are guys coming in off the bench.
Right.
Were you concerned at all about that, about guys having to come in maybe a little cold and hit right away? And it's not, you can't guarantee it, but that helps.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We have, the way they've constructed it. Vince Edwards and Raphael Davis have earned the right to start. They've been more productive than the other guys. Swanigan's been pretty good. We've had 2 inter-squad games, an exhibition game, a scrimmage versus Dayton. In this game, he's got a double-double in every one of them. So he's been pretty good. And I thought Haas has played really well too. So those guys have really, done a good job of putting themselves in the position. But does it give us the healthy diet of inside-outside play sometimes? It does when we sub. But those guys can rebound. Those guys can defend. Talking about Vince and Raphael, and they can make plays. They're good players. So, but we have to find a balance there. And I think that's what you have non-conference games for. It's what you have early games for. We're trying to figure out even though it could be the right thing for us on an offensive standpoint, the big picture of things, it might not be, but it could. So we just got to keep kind of paying attention to things and seeing how each group plays together.
Is there any end in sight on AJ playing?
No, it's same as before. Status is the same.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about Swanigan. Does it surprise you how well he's doing this quickly? I mean, double-doubles versus double-double almost every time he's been doing in exhibitions and stuff.
No, not at all. He's a good player. He plays hard. He's got a good skill set. He puts in a lot of time, a lot of effort. He wants to win. So his number one strength is that, his ability to rebound, his effort. By nature, he passes. He didn't get a lot of assists today, but there's a handful of passes he made that we just simply missed shots. So he's going to get, once he feels more comfortable and he understands our stuff a little bit better. We've thrown a lot at him, and he's got to know from a couple different spots. Right as we are able to do that, and then people play us straight up. I think he'll play better. I think he'll score more too. I really believe that once he kind of learns when to go, when not to go. Sometimes he turns his back in traffic, and you can't do that. He's got to learn when he can turn his back and play, when he can stay faced up. That's just kind of morphing into a 4-man. He's been a 5-man his whole career. Now he's a traditional power forward. And so just taking those open jump shots, being able to drive the ball a little bit, it's tough. It's tough when your body's changed so much and now your position's changed. But I think he'll continue to get better, and I think he'll continue to improve.
I know you viewed the point guards as pretty much interchangeable, but what got Johnny the nod in terms of starting?
Really, no, they both deserve to start. Well, I thought they both did good things, and we went with Johnny. He's given us a lot of energy. He really lays it on the line, plays hard every day. I thought PJ's been solid for us, has done some good things. It was a little bit of a flip today. I thought PJ did some good things and made some really good passes, and he has 0 assists. You can't shoot it for him too. And then Johnny had a lot of assists, and that was kind of the way it was in the exhibition game. PJ had a lot of assists and Johnny didn't, but that happens. I think they're both making good decisions and doing good things for us.
Just a quick turnaround. Obviously, you do that at the end of the season, in the postseason, and you kind of know your opponents a little better, but now you don't even have 48 hours because you have the afternoon tip-off. What's that like early in the season?
Well, I think it's good for us. It's obviously when you don't know much about your opponents, they don't know much about you either. You know, so it works both ways. You just have to go out and be able to do a one-day scouting report and adjust to a different style. But if you play hard and do the little things, they probably got to adjust more to you than you do to them. But it's going to be a contrast, really, when we start to play, because people are smaller than us, and so we have to be able to guard them, and people now have to do some things that maybe they don't traditionally do and how they guard us. So it's, you know, kind of like a card game. You know, it just depends on how it flips.
I know things eventually got lopsided, but what did you like about what you saw defensively, and especially considering you don't have AJ who's winning?
Right.
your best
Well, I thought we did some good things in communicating and some of their action and switching. And help side defense was a lot better than it was the other day in the exhibition game. So we just have to continue to understand what the opponent's doing and what they're trying to do, and be in a stance and communicate and help each other out.
Just the way the scoring was dispersed, you have 6 guys in double figures, and you don't have your leading scorer from last year. Do you kind of see that being the way this is going to play out this year offensively? It's just a lot of guys chipping in 12, 13 points.
Yeah, well, I can't see, you know, 10 guys once he comes back. I can't see 10 guys playing those kind of minutes all the time. So I think that's going to be the difference in kind of how games unfold. You know, he helps us because he can pass the ball in the high post too. You know, he can shoot that shot right there, and so then people have to come out and guard him, you know, while Biggie's down there and vice versa. And so it really helps us in terms of our high-low passing, doing some different things. But you know, it's good to have those kind of weapons. It's good to bring somebody like Kendall Stevens and Ryan Klein and Dakota Mathias, you know, off the bench for you. Some guys that can really shoot, and then to have somebody like him, you know, because you know, you bring a guy like that off the bench, it's all conference. So we have some weapons right there. It's a good problem to have. You know, everybody's going to have to sacrifice for our team to win. It's just the way it's going to be. Not everybody's going to be able to play major minutes every single night, and you got to keep a good attitude about it, and you know, go out there and cheer for your team.